So I want to talk about how to land a common. So down at the thermostat, there are 5 conductors, which is the minimum that you need to run a DDC type thermostat, or just a thermostat that doesn't run on batteries. So in this case, down at the thermostat there are 5 conductors, but only 4 are being used. The 5th one is just wrapped back, the blue one just being wrapped back. So they have R, and then they have Y, G, and W. The thermostat is run by batteries, so you don't need a common. But the thermostat that we're installing does not run on batteries, so we have to land a common. So this is what it looks like when you come up to the unit. So here I find my 5 conductors. 5 conductor ought to be blue, red, green, yellow, and white. If it was 4 conductor, it would be blue, green, red, and white. So anyway, when I got up here, the blue that was wrapped back at the thermostat was tied in with pink. And I started to think that pink might be the common. So I thought, oh, well, they've already landed a common, they're just not using it. But then when I started to dig into it, like here's my first clue. When you look at the thermostat, or the transformer, excuse me, you have red and brown. It turns out brown is the common. I had to read the diagram to figure that out. Well, here was another clue. There's a common terminal here. It's got brown on it. So power and common, red and brown. So I started to wonder about this pink. So the pink comes up and it lands on the board on that plug right back there. And you can see that pink is the 5th wire. It's position number 5. 5 out of 6. So power and common, red and brown are the first 2. So red is number 1, brown is number 2. So let's look at this diagram. So we need to figure out what pink is. So here on the diagram, you have the thermostat coming in here. And it'll tell you R is position number 1 on that plug. W is position 6. G for fan is position 4. Y is position 3. Y2 is position 5. Now that's that pink wire, come to find out. And it heads over to the compressor solenoid. So it's a single compressor, but it has a solenoid that allows more capacity. And then position 2 is your common, right? So it would be really nice if they labeled the colors right here on the positions, but they don't. I mean, if you follow it over, you can see the commons, and a lot of them are brown. So that's a clue. But yeah, it was that pink that I was worried about, and pink turns out to be Y2. So what I think I'll do is I've landed blue with brown, and the pink is going to be landed with Y2. So when you come up to land a common, when you come to the unit to land a common, look at your transformer, figure out which one's power and common, and you can also check your diagram. That'll help you to figure out which one's power and common. You can look at the board, figure out which one's power and common. There is a common terminal back here on this board, so I suppose I could have gone from blue all the way up to the terminal, but the brown was already here, so it was much easier just to take the cap off of it and tie it in. So here's another example of how to land a common. This is a Goodman unit with a gas furnace. There is 5 conductor going to the thermostat, which is right behind that wall. Only 4 of the wires are being used. They were using white, red, yellow, and green. And the 5th one is blue, and it was wrapped back. The thermostat runs on batteries, so if you're going to install a thermostat that does not run on batteries, you got to land a common. So when I got to the unit, there's an example of some 4 conductor here. 4 conductor has green, red, white, and blue. No yellow. So when it becomes 5 conductor, they add yellow. So the 5 conductor from the stat comes in and they tie yellow to blue. With 4 conductor, blue is typically used for cooling. With 5 conductor, yellow is used for cooling. and blue is then used for common. So anyway, the 5 conductor comes in, and they twist it in with some blue for just about 6 inches, and they tie it into the terminals. So yellow to blue for cooling, red for power, green for fan, and white for heat. So the blue I had here was cut short, and I needed to land this blue on the common terminal down here, so I just added this jumper to land the common. And then when you go to the thermostat, you just find the blue and use it.